The moment our fellow geeks, dweebs, nerds, and other unfortunates have been fervently waiting for has finally arrived. It's time for TMI, Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerf Herder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker. And now, let's get on with the show. Here is TMI.
I got it. Hey, Jim.
Hey. And we're back in the theater this week.
We are. It's been a while since we've been in the theater, actually. My people at my Regal were like, wow, Jeff, where have you been? The regular, you want your regular, sir? It's like my bartender. They know exactly what I want.
We're not as easy these days. We're being more selective about the movies we actually go to the theater for. And this one, I think, kind of begs it because we had just covered Tron not too long ago. We did it with Sonic 3, I believe.
Yeah, that's actually episode 333, so it wasn't that long ago.
We've never done Tron Legacy, but...
No.
I watched this. This'll figure into this discussion, I'm sure, because I watched it again just to get ready for Tron Ares, thinking, okay, I'm going to need to know.
Yeah.
Be fresh. And it turns out I didn't.
I'm going to say right now, this movie made me see red.
Literally.
In more ways than one. So yeah, you're right. I did go back because it's on Disney Plus. Although that is one of my 3D Blu-rays I have.
Really?
Yeah, Tron Legacy.
Do you still have a 3D TV?
I do, but I can't tell you the last time I actually watched a 3D feature. It's a little wonky. This TV's probably 10, 12 years old now.
You know what killed me for the 3D TV? Because I have one too, but I never use it.
Is the batteries?
You have to keep the batteries in the glasses.
The batteries. Yeah, the batteries in the glasses go bad really quick.
And it's like, it's watch batteries too. It's not like you have them laying around the house.
Nope. Talking about this Tron Ares, it is... like sitting in the theater, this is the loudest movie I've been to since Moon Age Daydream.
Really? Yeah, I didn't.
Soundtrack
this is rocked. You went to your normal theater, right?
And I was actually very concerned because usually with my tinnitus, I have a hard time. And this theater was banging.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that it was louder than usual. I did appreciate the soundtrack as it was going, but they didn't turn up the speakers or anything. It was dealable.
We'll talk about it. So, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, since we mentioned Legacy and Ares, we are talking Tron Ares. Disney's new third movie in the trilogy.
And talking about hanging on, until grim death, they are just pushing this Tron franchise until they cannot get anything more out of it.
Well, we're gonna get there because my question is, why did we make this movie?
I've got some theories, but we'll get there.
All right.
And along with Tron Ares, we are sticking with the technological route. And kudos to Jeff for making this parallel because it is, it's a theme here. Johnny Mnemonic. So we have pre-Matrix Keanu Reeves. And there's more than a few parallels between Johnny Mnemonic and the Matrix.
Yeah, no, this was the precursor. Although there are a lot of parallels between that and Lawnmower Man as well.
Yes. And the Wachowskis apparently used this movie as an example when they were trying to get money, when they were trying to get the Matrix made. So
it's pretty wild. And we'll talk about this as well. The comparisons of, the technology that was available in 82 when the original Tron was made. And then between that and now what they've done with this movie. But the same thing. I mean, that, like you said, that's only a 4-year difference between Johnny Mnemonic and the Matrix. And as we all know, that Matrix was revolutionary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We're going deep into the computer world here.
All right. So you have news before we do.
I do. Let's talk a little news. And I always hate starting out on a somber note, but we have to just give a mention and praise to a man who has inspired me, did inspire me, will continue to inspire me. Because I am surrounded by his artwork And even as we speak, if you look over my shoulders, which you can't see, maybe Jim can, but Drew Struzan, master of the movie poster, 78, has passed away from Alzheimer's. And his stuff, you will never see the likes of again. You go to the movies now and everything is photoshopped and it's just a big giant head. Paul Shipper is an artist that's out there, and he's kind of, I would say, in the same vein and mantle as Drew Struzan. And if you don't know who the name is, you'll recognize his artwork. He's synonymous with Star Wars, although he did not do the original Star Wars poster. That was the Hildebrandt brothers, and Tom Jung did a version of that. It wasn't until the re-release of Star Wars, and he created a new poster, which they refer to as the circus poster. So it looks like the old posters that you used to paste up on the boards on the sidewalk of paste it up and it's all ripped apart or whatever. But
he started Star Wars with Empire, right? That was his.
He did. No, that was not him either. That
wasn't him. Even the one with all the heads.
No, his first official Star Wars poster for the release was the Revenge of the Jedi with the giant red Darth Vader head, and then you just see the little silhouette of Luke and Vader fighting. That was his first one, but then he did all the posters for the prequels, for Phantom Menace through Revenge of the Sith. Did the re-release, the 1997 Star Wars special editions, Back to the Future. He did all those Back to the Future
all the
movie
Raiders
posters.
Movies, right?
He didn't do the original Raiders. Again, that was a different artist, but he did Last Crusade and a re-release poster. When they added the Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, I know he did The Thing. That was him.
He did The Thing, and that's actually a famous story. They gave him pretty much 24 hours to turn that movie poster around. He had no clue what the story was. Threw a parka on his wife, took some photographs as reference, and then the very iconic, just the light sparkles coming out of the face. So it's very abstract. 24 hours, that man turned that around.
Very apt for the actual movie. So
yeah, not knowing actually, I think that's more intriguing than if you just showed me,
like the dog monster or something.
With the monster Muppet movie. He did a lot of stuff with the Muppets. He's, between Lucas and Spielberg, these two kept him employed for a very, very long time. Manhattan, for a couple of years ago, there was a museum that actually had a lot of his original artwork on display. And I went with some friends, and you just get lost in this stuff. And it's commercial art, You look at it and it's not Van Gogh, but it's fantastic, the stuff that he did, and invoking the wonder of some of these movie posters, even like Masters of the Universe, which, you look at the poster and you're like, wow, that looks amazing. And then you see the movie and you're like, well, that didn't match the movie poster at all. So, and I knew I surround myself with people. I've known people in the art industry who know him, who hang out with him, who represented him. One of my Back to the Future pieces that I'm dragging around now is signed by him. I do have a 10th anniversary Star Wars poster as well, signed and numbered. And so, yeah, I think everybody knew it was coming, that he was deteriorating. But it's very, very sad. End of an era, so to speak. This artwork that it's an art form that really doesn't really exist anymore. So it's unfortunate. Kudos to you, Mr. Drew Struzan, who continues to inspire. And then we have to bring this up because this is making the rounds right now online, that there are reports. Jim Carrey is in talks to star in a live action Jetsons movie with Colin Trevorrow, who we just saw in Jurassic World.
Okay.
Attached.
And as George Jetson, I assume?
Well, so this is
Mr. Spacely.
so right, exactly where I'm going, which is this guy's 63 years old. I don't think he's qualified to be George Jetson.
No.
George Jetson has two young kids. Like, he's almost a straight guy,
Unless, he's married to somebody 30 years his junior.
which could happen, but I don't need to see. I don't know. You hit it on the head, though, because I said we just saw him play Dr. Robotnik in Sonic 3. And he killed it. But I'm like, so use motion capture and make him Mr. Spacely, who is a cartoon character, literally. Although if Danny DeVito's available, you can't do that. You have to give Danny DeVito that role. So I don't know. It's interesting. And what was even crazier is I read back in 2012, Kanye West was set to become the creative director for a Jetsons movie. And obviously that never happened. And then
that's a good thing.
What? I don't know. Like, why? Right. And then in 2017, ABC had actually ordered a pilot for a live action Jetsons TV show, but that never came to fruition.
So it could be done if, as you said, if it was all motion capture and George was a cartoon. So all that he had of Jim Carrey was the voice and the motion capture, and the character would be younger then. It would be, you'd be able to do anything with the character. But yeah, not live action.
But at the same time, like, that was counter programming to the Flintstones back in the 60s. Flintstones were Stone Age, you got the birds making photographs out of rocks and your elephants sucking up your vacuum cleaner. And so this was kind of like suited. This was like we just watched a Fantastic Four movie, which is that retro 60s futuristic. Like, everything that happens in the Jetsons can happen now in our world, except for the flying car turning into a suitcase. Yeah. What am I getting out of it? Oh, look, Jane puts a fake face on because she's on a Zoom call. Yeah, okay, we do that every day.
Oh, look, they got a conveyor belt. Okay.
Right. Oh, they got a robot. They got a robot that vacuums. Yeah, we call that a Roomba now. So life imitates art. I don't know.
They have a dog that says "Ruh-roh." We have that.
Well, we do need to get Frank Welker out of retirement. Yeah. He can come back as Astro. So I don't know. I just thought that it was really bizarre. But it's making the rounds. I've seen it on numerous sites reporting that Jim Carrey is in talks. And I thought he was in retirement. He only came out for that Robotnik role. So those are really the only two news items I wanted to bring to the table today.
All right. So Tron Ares.
So as you said, Tron, the original Tron Disney movie, came out in 1982.
Yes.
And then nothing came of it until 2010 when they came out with Tron Legacy. So you crunch the numbers. What is that? 35?
What Tron Legacy was, I think, was just an attempt by Disney to get the franchise out there again, to reboot it. Because, yes, it does continue the story of Tron, but it also repeats the story of Tron to some degree. Just substituting Jeff Bridges' son, Sam in his place from the first movie. You've got a stranger like a fish out of water in the grid, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And instead of David Warner, it's the bad guy is Jeff Bridges.
Well, right, in the sense that he's looking for his father.
Yeah. So
there is a through line in the sense that at least there's a storyline where he's searching for his dad. Who,
yes.
You see at the beginning, and we talk about this. We never talked about Legacy, but the really bad de-aging of Jeff Bridges is so glaring.
Now, I've seen some chatter since Ares came out. A lot of people have been revisiting Tron Legacy just like I did. Sure. Getting ready for this
it's right
viewing.
right there on Disney Plus for you all to watch.
And so, there's some comments about Jeff Bridges, his avatar's appearance in Legacy, and how it's very, I call it the Polar Express style of CGI.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Where it's, dead eyes, the mouth, it just doesn't move that right. It's not, it's very off.
But that was the pinnacle of technology.
It was
in 2010.
But interestingly enough, some people say I could have accepted this because this is an avatar in the grid.
Correct. Yeah.
If they didn't try to pass this off in the beginning of the movie as Flynn's character himself.
Yeah, because you see him with his son. And so you're right. It is jarring.
Yeah.
They try to hide the side of his face, but then when he turns and it's plastic.
I would have been happy if they just showed the back of his head in those early scenes. Don't show his face.
Yep.
And then Clue, once you're introduced to him, which is the avatar of Flynn.
But you're right.
Fine.
I could buy that. Yeah.
He could be,
yeah.
he could be like money for nothing, and I wouldn't care.
Right.
The earring and the makeup.
Hey, buddy. That's my own. It's just like the level of technology. Yeah, because Tron back in 1982 was revolutionary. And it really was, when you break it down, and we talked about this, is the fact that it really is just a 2D animation where they were just filming these guys in black and white and then going back in frame by frame and painting everything. You know, his face was one layer, the lights on his shoulder were another layer, the background, like everything was just hand painted. So it had that really kind of otherworldly feel to it. And so then you update it for Legacy, and Legacy, again, you know, we talk about the soundtrack here with 9 Inch Nails. That was Daft Punk. And you're like, all right, they've taken this whole idea, this concept, and just boom, brought it into the.
And
now.
That was a fantastic score. Now, I love the characters as well in Tron Legacy.
Yes.
I love that actor who plays
you cared
Sam.
about them. Yeah.
And
because they give him a story arc before he ever goes and gets zapped into the grid. But I have to say this. So by the time we get to this movie, which is now 2025, so another 15 years removed from Tron Legacy. So you're talking 40 plus years. No one ever leveled that original arcade. It just sits there. Those things got to be worth a ton of money, and that real estate's got to be. It just sits there.
Unless the Encom or whatever bought it just for the purpose of letting it stand there. But even if they did that, you'd think it would be like a
museum.
A museum, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in this movie, you see that they took Flynn's office and put it into the Encom headquarters, almost like a religious center of the shop, complete with, you know, newspaper clippings up on the wall, the whole thing. They just recreated his office. So then,
well, yeah,
right.
Well, Alan knows that that's down there, right? He must at this point.
Alan, he's not in this movie.
He's then he was Tron.
Well,
Tron's
there's
not
no
in this
Tron.
movie.
Why is this movie called Tron? There is no character called Tron in this movie. I'm going to say it right now. I sat in the theater, and like I said, the music, the visuals, the chase sequences. Boy, even my friend Frank,
this is a chase movie. That's what my takeaway was. This is a chase movie from start to finish.
Oh, Legacy was blue. Let's make these guys red.
Well, that makes sense because Dillinger equals red.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
So and Encom equals blue. So you can tell the bad guys and the good guys.
Yeah, even in Legacy, the Dillinger's characters there.
So you assume that there's two separate grids, the Dillinger grid.
If you count the original, there's 3.
And the Encom grid, but I thought the whole point is there's just the grid. It's like there's not 2 internets.
Well, but isn't that the crux of the first movie? Is the fact that Dillinger stole Flynn's idea for the grid
for a video game.
But so now he's just relegated to coming up with his own video game.
And what was that called?
Space Paranoids, which makes a return here. Is anybody still excited for release of video games from the 80s? I don't know. It's just, but you get this opening montage that does its best to try and kind of catch you up with this world.
But let me just give shout outs before we even get to the opening montage. Okay. The Disney logo is great in both Legacy and Ares, because in Legacy you get like the blue highlights on the like it's a Tron,
it's a Tron
grid
level.
castle.
Yeah.
And in this movie, because it's based in the Dillinger grid, it's a red Tron castle. So you've got all those clean red light lines all over the castle.
And it's too bad that we're never going to get a 4th movie, because I would assume it would be purple.
Ah.
You're going to merge those 2 colors together, but it's never going to happen. But like you said, you go out of your way to be like, oh, I need to rewatch Legacy. Let me catch up on these characters. And then you watch it. It's like, oh, yeah, remember that character that you were invested in the first movie? Those 2 characters? They're missing.
Yeah.
They're missing.
So in the exposition,
the bad guy that they set up at the end of Legacy is nowhere to be. Cillian Murphy, by the way.
I know. Wasted in Legacy. He's in it for 2 minutes.
You know what I thought, though, is because the mom is Gillian Anderson. So I said, oh, we could have had a Killian Gillian relationship.
Yes, because Killian Anderson's character in Legacy is David Warner's son.
Yep.
So, and in this movie, in Ares, Gillian Anderson, they are siblings here, but this character is never mentioned, Killian's character.
No. And Evan Peters, who plays Julian, the grandson of David Warner, is right. His mom is Gillian Anderson.
You were invested in Sam in Legacy, and I wanted to see
you have to
what
see.
happens.
Not only that, at the end of that movie, Cora, who he brings out into the real world, we're told is unlike anything we've ever seen before, that she is somehow an IO construct.
Right, an IO.
Right. IOU.
Now, if you stick around, I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Oh, the end credit.
But we're talking about Cora and Sam. Yeah. So if you do stick around for the end credit, you're given a little bone. You're given that's poor choice of words, but you're given a tease of these characters at least. And apparently they're still together somewhere in the real world. 10 years? I don't know. You think she'd be going out with Harry Styles by now?
Oh, well, that's Olivia Wilde, man. She can do whatever she wants. Not only that, it's like, so you sit through this and you get to that end scene and you're like, why did I just watch all this? Just show me that. That's the movie I want.
Well, apparently that's the movie we were going to get a couple of years after Legacy came out, because they had a script that continued on with those two characters. All the actors signed on to do it.
Sure.
And then,
you can't just sign on for a one movie.
Just like what happens in Hollywood, it goes through like development limbo, and then too much time goes by and everybody drops off the project. And now it's no longer a good idea because the movies came out 5, 6, 7 years ago.
We're talking about it was already 30 plus years before they even decided to make Legacy.
Right.
So, but my other thing is, which I read was, so Legacy came out in 2010. So around 2014, like you said, 2014, 2015 is when they really started like ramping up this sequel. But that's right around the time Disney bought Lucasfilm. And so they're like, oh, we got this now. We got this new playground. We don't need this Tron Legacy. We don't need this Tron world.
The other big reason why they dropped it is because Tomorrowland was a failure. So they thought, well, we can't do another sci-fi movie. Look what happened here.
Do we blame that on Brad Bird or George Clooney?
I think.
Or just poor execution, because I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in that movie.
Yeah, I just think the marketing was off, because I had no idea what that movie was about from the trailers, nor did I want to find out.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that is on Disney Plus somewhere.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I don't know.
Now I need to watch it. Well, I will tell you, I was very adverse to watching Pirates of the Caribbean because it was based on a video or on a stupid ride. And finally, someone's like, I think when it dropped on VHS, and people was like, you need to go watch this movie. And I will tell you right now that still holds up. They made 5 movies out of it. Matter of fact, this director, Joaquin Roning, directed the 5th installment of that movie.
But as soon as I realized that Tomorrowland was not going to have Space Mountain, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to watch that.
But didn't they do a Space Mountain movie? No. Escape from Witch Mountain.
Escape from Witch Mountain.
The reboot with The Rock.
That would have been perfect. Much more apropos than Witch Mountain, because they're aliens. Space Mountain.
They should just do a Disney. That's true. They should just do a Disney movie where every land is like a different planet. I don't know. So again, yep. Here's all these characters, and they're all gone. And now we're going to introduce this new character, Eve Kim, who's racing around in Alaska, trying to find her sister's computer station that she likes to hide out in, because there is software somewhere that Flynn hid, which is called the Permanence, which will make these programs live in our world. Yeah.
So I didn't really completely 100% get on board with this, because this means that Flynn could have done this at any time.
Not only that, but we were told that her sister died of a terminal disease. So the entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking to myself, oh, her sister transported herself somewhere in this computer and she's going to go look for her. That's not the case at all.
No, because these two twin sisters here, they are now running NCOM because we've already written off Sam in the first
Sam's
2 minutes.
Disappeared. Sam's gone. So we don't know. We've never been introduced to these two characters. She's gone. At one point, the kid that she's with, Seth, implies that they've been in that facility in Alaska for like 3 months. And yet she comes back to the office and they're like, oh, welcome back. Where have you been? You put out an APB. And she finds this backdoor software, this DNA heligram or whatever you want to call it, hidden in one of Flynn's original floppy disks.
So, but again, if Flynn invented this technology, he could have easily used it. And
Correct.
Why he didn't, I don't know. They don't explain why.
Like I said, and because of the sister who was dying, knew of it, why didn't she use it?
And how did she know of it in the first place? We all have
these stupid lasers that could shoot us into the video game.
So the basic crux of this movie is that you still have Dillinger and you still have NCOM. Dillinger is its own company at this point, and NCOM is its own company. And of course, they are competitors. They're at each other's throats all the time. And the Dillinger Corporation is run by Evan Peters, as we said, and Gillian Anderson. Julian Dillinger. And he is a bad guy, just as bad as David Warner was. He's got neck tattoos, so you know he's even worse.
I will say this though, he is. I'm going to compare him to Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. He's a one-note villain. And now, don't get me wrong, he
has no morals. He doesn't care about anything, and he never learns by the end of the movie.
No, and he steals Tony Stark's warmonger speech at the beginning, which is, we are the masters of war. Here's what I can give you. I can give you these soldiers. These guys die, I'll just make a new one. Why only make one Ares? If it's a program, you can duplicate it.
So they're all racing. When I say all, I mean NCOM and Dillinger. They're both racing to find something to make these creations that come out of the computer permanent, because they both have the technology to pull things out of the computer and kind of create them like a 3D printer in real life.
3D printer, which by the end of the movie makes no sense either.
So you can create a tank from the grid. You can create a light cycle from the grid in real life. You can create a program which looks like a person from the grid.
This makes me feel like this is like the G.I. Joe cartoon, where after a while they just kept introducing new vehicles that could be toys.
Yeah.
It's like, look at these gliders that your character can fly around on. It's like, that's cool. I want one of those tanks.
So but here's the thing. Here's the rub. They can only exist in the real world for 29 minutes. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. That's a cool concept.
Then they break into pixels.
And then they just break down. Yeah.
So this permanence code, what everybody's looking for is how to permanently bring them into the real world. Yeah. And Julian is like giving this demonstration at the beginning for all these military head honchos. Doesn't tell them that they've got 29 minutes.
Oh, no, he ushers them out pretty quick. So before they crumble.
Yep.
And of course, Mom's not too happy. Mom's like, why
did you tell him that? Yeah.
Shh. I'm not going to tell him the bomb's going to diffuse before it can actually go off. But this is where we're introduced to Ares himself, who is Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Who apparently is like champion this. I think he's executive producer.
Yeah, but apparently a huge fan of the original Tron as well.
Well, he should have watched it again because it's a vanity piece. And so there are numerous Frankenstein / Pinocchio overtures / references that this character, this Ares, is slowly becoming sentient. He is slowly developing feelings. Who am I? What am I?
You know what brings it on? The rain.
The rain.
That's what does it.
Yeah, these guys. So why didn't that happen with Athena? Because she also seemed to be very stymied by the rain. But if that's the case, then would you be just as amazed by the wind or the sunshine? or
forget snow. That'll blow their minds.
That's true. Hey, stand right here on the beach. A hurricane's coming.
Yeah.
No. But they scream when they die. So wouldn't pain also be somehow a receptor?
You wouldn't want that to happen.
No. because they seems like they're very aware of the fact that they just were dissolved, but then they just get reprinted. This is especially in this day and age where we're really kind of seeing this AI just explode. And it would have been interesting to kind of explore this, the ramifications of unleashing a Terminator level sentient AI that is becoming aware and has feelings, and yet you never once feel for this character. You don't care because his boss is a bad guy. What would happen if this was a creation of Encom? Would he have turned as well and just been like, you don't need to control me. I'm good.
Yeah, because he starts to get feelings because the rain confuses him. And then from that moment on, he's questioning everything that he's being asked to do. And I think the turning point is when one of his friends, one of Ares' friends, his programs, gets killed while they're trying to chase
he gets his
Eve.
arm chopped off there, and he tries to save him. Is that right?
Because, and then for whatever reason, Dillinger says, "Oh, don't bother. We can't reconstitute him." I'm like, why?
Why? Right. And why would he care? But he was my program friend. We hung out together in the Gigabyte room. It's interesting because they do go back and forth, and there is the scene where he sends the troops into Encom's computers, and it's like they're infiltrating a building.
It's like there's a scene like that in Legacy too. It's the same room that Sam goes in and sneaks around in. Yeah. It would be great if it was the same guard, but he probably got fired after.
He probably did. Yeah, he's like, screw you. Visually, this is stunning, and it's arresting. It is. They've taken what we saw in Legacy and they've ratcheted it up, and it's gorgeous to look at. And like I said, the soundtrack is just.
The soundtrack is great, but sometimes it is overbearing.
It is.
I think it takes more precedence than what you're seeing on screen.
Yeah, I am disappointed that we find out that this character loves Depeche Mode, and I'm like, we get one song.
Well, you should have had them score it.
They should have had that. I'm surprised that 30 Seconds to Mars was not.
At least one track by them. He would have been like all over that, I'm sure.
Because the weird thing about Nine Inch Nails is this is, for lack of a better term, there is one like driving song at the end of the movie, which is very Nine Inch Nails. Otherwise, it is very techno. It's not that far removed from Daft Punk. It is very video game level driving beats. And it is the highlight of this movie. And when you're in these action sequences, whether they're racing on these bikes or they're running around beating the crap out of each other with the discs, it's fun and you're invested. But in between, not much.
So like I said before, the whole movie is a chase. Eve now has this permanence code. Now, did it really mean permanent? Because I didn't
because Flynn actually tells him, well, that's kind of stupid that I named it that, because it's like Highlander.
But
now,
is he real?
You're mortal. Now you're mortal.
But is he a human, or is he just still a program that doesn't?
I think he's still a program. Well, so take it when they actually manifested, they actually 3D printed the orange tree. Can I eat that? Like at the end of the movie, you're talking about the fact that, they use this to grow crops in the middle of nowhere and feed all these starving people. I'm like, but what are you printing this out of? How is it like edible? Again, the Pinocchio reference, which he's a real boy now. So that just means you can die.
Well, I guess since the permanence code has like a DNA strand, that would make sense if he did become a human. I don't know. Seems it would be more complicated than that.
You would think so.
At the beginning, it's Ares that is leading up the chase against Eve because, of course, Dillinger wants to get the permanence code from Eve. So he sends all of his minions from the grid into the real world. They have 29 minutes to get it before they break apart.
So she copied it onto a thumb drive. I don't know how many gigs this thumb drive holds, but it couldn't have been that much. But she didn't destroy her sister's station in Alaska, so why couldn't they just go there and get it off the computer?
Yeah.
And then when she thinks she's cornered, she breaks the thumb drive, throws it overboard. Nope, I don't have it anymore. Oh, no, you've got a copy of Flynn's computer in your office. We'll just get it from there. What? Then why'd I go to Alaska? It seems like it was like, wait a minute.
Once Ares gets a conscience, he is actually protecting Eve. And from that point on, Ares' second in command, which is Athena, becomes the main antagonist, chasing them.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, he, this idea that his fellow program gets left behind, and that kind of like sparks his like, wait a minute. But then Dillinger asks him to go through all of Eve's personal contacts, and he reads all her text messages and her emails, and from what I understand, develops a feeling for her. And now I got to protect her because there's more going on here.
Yeah. And Athena is just thinking that Ares is having a malfunction of some kind.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's, we're a program.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do what you're told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is she just more than a little jealous?
Yep. So they end up going back to NCOM office and decide that the only way is to send Ares into the original grid, Flynn's original grid. And this is my favorite part of this whole movie, because now you're at least attempting to tie this back into Tron.
Because Ares, when he constitutes on the original grid, he's on the light cycle track, for lack of a better term, and he sees the crack in the wall
that
from
Flynn left
Tron.
from the first movie that he escaped. Yeah. No one fixed that?
I guess not. They have little doozers from Fraggle Rock come out every time somebody cracks something.
Well, it was nice because we also got the return of the little yes no ball. The little Jiminy Cricket, Tinkerbell, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And twice, he gets into a car and he's like, "Oh, classic," and then he sees the original light cycle and he's like, "Ah." And this, I wonder, I didn't do a big enough dive if they went back and actually recreated this sequence using the same technology they did for the original 82, which was, like I said, filmed it in black and white and then hand colored. They could probably all do it on a computer now. So now he's out looking for this permanent somehow hidden in this grid, and comes across the dude.
Yep.
He is just the dude. He is just like the platitudes and the parables that he's throwing at him. Like, this guy was just missing his White Russian, because he's asking Flynn questions. Why are you here? Why are you here, man? It's like, what?
I exist in this moment, man, because you do. Like,
but meanwhile, we saw him sacrifice himself in order to help Sam at the end, him and Clue.
I am a reflection of your presence, man.
Stop. What are you giving me this mumbo jumbo for?
Just tell me, man. How's Sam and Quora doing? Who?
Who? Wait, what are you talking about? I didn't get that far in the script yet. I don't know what you're talking about. But you're right. He is, it's a blink and you'll miss a cameo. And he's the only character that carries through. He gives him the DNA helix or whatever the permanence is on the disc, and then lets Jared Leto do the old movie poster pose. Yeah, without a girl by his side, holding. I have the power. Yeah, okay, bye.
But in the meantime, in the real world, this is cool. I will say this is cool. The recognizer, the iconic two-legged ship.
How the hell did she print this giant thing?
Comes into the real world to chase Eve.
She 3D prints it.
Yep.
In the room. This thing is massive. This is a great visual, by the way.
Yeah.
Again.
There's a great light cycle chase scene through the city. And of course, they're creating the light walls behind them. So you only see like one accident happen from these light walls.
You would think that people are running into these walls left and right.
Yeah. Or they can't,
How long do they stay?
This is a city. These are one-way streets. I'm like, now I can't get to where I'm going. Traffic jams everywhere.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
Tron. So he escapes the original grid and then has to fight Athena.
Yeah.
It's nice to look at. This is what I refer to as cotton candy entertainment. It is fun to sit there and just shovel it into your face, but boy, it's empty calories.
Yeah,
it's and especially if you think you're going to get any kind of like this. So they did a Tron Uprising, which was an animated series that came out, I think, like 2012 or 2013, but it takes place in between the original Tron and Legacy. They could have easily done this to introduce this character and left us exactly where we are right now, which I need to go find Sam and Cora now.
when they first did the script that was going to be a direct sequel to Tron Legacy, Ares was a character in that script.
Okay.
Jared Leto, whoever, attached onto that character, and suddenly it became about that character instead. The movie.
Well, it became about Jared Leto. Did you see that? I'm sure you read this, that he stayed in character during the entire shoot.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a method actor piece of crap. And he made everyone refer to him by Ares. Except for Bridges, who refused to do so. And Jeff Bridges said, well, you know what? I created the grid, so therefore I could call Ares whatever I wanted. And I'm like, good for you, dude.
Yep.
Literally. It's like, I'm not playing your stupid game.
It ends with Ares becoming the real boy.
Yep.
Right? So does he have a relationship with Eve? I don't know. He goes off on his own, just like the end of...
Could he have a relationship?
I don't know. I think he goes to vacation at the same place Hannibal Lecter did at the end of Silence of the Lambs.
I think they were at the same casino, or at the little cafe.
The outside bar or whatever it was. Yeah.
He made them film that on set. He's like,
Yeah.
we need to go to Italy for this scene. But he still sends postcards. He sent a postcard.
Well, he's got a postcard or something that has Sam and Cora's picture on it, because that's who he's chasing at the very end of the movie.
He took that newspaper clipping from the beginning montage. He's like, I'll use that for later.
So they're giving us a concession here. So if we're allowed to do another movie, then we're going to see Sam and Cora, if we can get those actors, which is unlikely.
Well, as I said, we're never going to get it. This movie is not doing well at the theater.
No.
And I think it's because of that. Maybe not. Is it because of just Leto's name attached to it?
I don't think so. I think that might have something to do with it, because, he's not really box office material.
Well, he thinks he is.
I just think it's mostly the franchise isn't that well known. It's a very niche franchise.
But they have a ride. You can go
they
ride
do,
the light
and I think
cycles.
that's
They just
part
did
of it.
The new light cycles.
Exactly. I think that part of the reason this movie got greenlit is to promote the ride. We just sunk millions into this new ride. Let's have it be relevant. They're actually retooling the ride for a limited amount of time to Tron Ares. So the soundtrack of the ride is going to be Nine Inch Nails, and they changed the blue lights to red lights.
Red light, blue light.
Yeah.
Okay.
And speaking of red lights, the very end, you think that Julian is killed because they've destroyed the Dillinger grid at the end of from the end comma. I don't know if I forget how they even did it, but they destroy the Dillinger grid. So it's in ruins, and Julian gets banished to the ruined grid. And once he's there,
he jumps into it to escape the police that are closing in on him. Transports himself.
But he's in the grid. That's what I remember. He's in the grid.
And I will tell you, I called this in the theater. I said, here we go. Yeah.
He gets his identity disc, and suddenly he becomes Sark at the end.
But it's a blink and you'll miss it Easter egg. And if you didn't watch the original movie, you would it's such a deep cut. Like, they don't mention his grandfather. I mean, no, there's a picture of David Warner up on the wall in his room in one of his board meetings. Like, you don't see a picture of Sark in any way, shape, or form. Again, it just ties in so tentatively to the original two movies. I don't know. It's like some people probably walked out of there going, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't get it.
Ares still has not shaved or gotten a haircut by the end of the movie when he's in Venice.
Why would you do that?
I mean, when you get a haircut, does it become pixels and falls on the floor?
I don't know. He's a real boy now. He's Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Pinocchio.
The question is answered. You can have a beard and be a program.
I guess so. Yeah. Again. Yeah. With long hair. Why would they do that?
Stop being a beardo.
A beardo. And Evan Peters is, like I said, he's a one-note villain. Mom gets killed, and he's mom.
He's just short of wringing his hands and twirling his mustache, right?
I mean, we just mentioned Sonic 3. Jim Carrey had a more nuanced performance as Dr. Robotnik than this guy does.
Yeah, he has no redeeming qualities wotsoever.
No.
I mean, he's sad when his mother dies. Yeah.
Well, listen, it was Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
Who I will tell you, when I first realized who that was, I'm like, oh, she looks old. But hopefully they did it on purpose, because she is immortal in my eyes.
So it's passable. It's entertaining while you're watching it. It's it's fluff. It's a decent action movie. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Visually, great. Special effects have come so far since.
Correct.
Not that I don't think they created a digital character per se, but the special effects are just banging. The soundtrack is great, even though I like Daft Punk a little better. I'm very partial to Legacy.
All right.
Like 100%.
It's actually a decent movie. It's a
great movie.
And you're more invested in those characters.
Yeah.
Sam has an arc. He got abandoned by his dad. Where the hell did my dad go? Why'd he go back into the computer? Why wouldn't he be there for me? None of this. This little boy awakened. He's not even a little boy. He's a hairy rock star. Yeah. I have to say, why do we bother making this? Why do we not work harder to tie this into Legacy? And I think the diehards that are out there that are watching this and want to see the continuation of that character are walking out very disappointed.
So this was really made for the newbies.
Then reboot it altogether and don't even tie it into. Why even bring in Flynn? That just, like I said, why even name this Tron?
We touched on this at the beginning of this conversation. It's not even mentioned. I don't think the word is never uttered.
You don't get a Bruce Boxleitner character either way, Tron or Alan.
At least he was in Legacy. They actually had the character in Legacy.
He did show up. Korra's story was more interesting. I mean, in a lot of ways, Ares parallels what she went through. I mean,
they don't even mention these IOs at all in Ares.
No, this is like Phantom Menace.
And the IOs they never really explained fully what she was.
No, so that's something I wanted to see. That's something to explore.
They just
what is she?
These
She's
IOs
AI?
The farthest they get in Legacy is that these IOs create themselves. They're just there one day.
They're just there.
So
like
is she like the missing link between the users and the programs? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
I don't know.
Because this movie sure does not tell us.
Nope. No. Her name's never even mentioned.
No. If you can set that aside, and I couldn't, but if you can set this aside, this is a very passable chase movie. On its own merits, I would say this would get 3 buckets from me, 3 buckets of popcorn out of 5. If you're looking at it through the lens of Tron Legacy, maybe it goes down to 2 buckets. But if you can remove yourself and take it for what it is, I would give it 3 out of 5.
I think that's fair, too, because like I said, in the theater, sitting in the theater, I was entertained.
Yeah,
I was enjoying it. It was only after I sat down and really started writing up my notes and thinking about some of this stuff. All jokes aside, this movie really did make me see red. I'm like, wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. Why would you, especially with the whole permanence thing that just, they don't really explain it other than, like, wouldn't Ares go back in and try and free all of his friends to be permanent?
Yeah, because if he had friends, they would have destroyed them when they destroyed the Dillinger Grid.
Right. Yeah, they would have all gone away. Unless they were backed up on a thumb drive.
Just come out in the rain. It'll do you wonders.
Right. Yeah, I know a little cafe where we can drink some coffee.
Yeah.
Where do you get money from?
Do you like pina coladas?
That's a deep Rupert Holmes gut right there. I don't know. I'm going to give it 3 as well. I think that is apt. That is temper your expectations if you really like Legacy and somehow think that this is going to further that storyline, because it doesn't. This is almost like a fan fiction take on Tron. I'm going to fill in the gaps between 2 movies. Yeah, and the second movie is we'll never see.
It's like one of these offshoot Star Wars movies. That's just another story in that universe.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. But you can have it. You can have a Star Wars movie and never once mention a Skywalker.
Yeah,
there's other programs. There's other stories out there. Yeah, it's disappointing in that regard, but it is pretty to look at. It is, like I said, this is lipstick on a pig.
And most of you listening to this probably are not going to bother to see it in the theater. I hope we didn't spoil it too bad, but on your HD TV, it's going to look fabulous.
Oh, and it'll be on there real quick.
Yep.
I think that Disney Plus is going to be like, oh, we gotta friggin' do something, especially coming into the Christmas season. It's nice to look at. It is a fun chase sequence, like you said. There's a lot to enjoy, but boy, you scratch below the surface and it falls apart.
And of course, if you're so inclined to do so, you can get that soundtrack. Of course, it's on red vinyl. So,
ooh, yeah. Wow, they went all out. That's all I got. I'm not going to trash it anymore. I will say, my friend Frank, we walked out and he was like, "Yeah, it was good." I was like, "All right, that's more than normal."
Well, you're popcorn. Not done yet, though. What did you bring us for the concession stand?
So, even though I know that technically it was your turn, I forgot there were so many weeks in between that we.
You want to know what I would have done for this?
What would you have done?
You know, talking about all the clean red lines, I would have used clean red vines.
Oh, I see what you're going there.
Yeah.
Well, I went with the fact I was really playing off the hopes that you were going to be extra salty talking about Jared Leto. So I decided I was going to double down and bring the one of the thing you hate more than Jared Leto, and that is the Butterfinger.
Have we not done the Butterfinger
yet?
We
have not done the Butterfinger.
The Butterfinger comes up so often, so I sometimes think that we have done it.
Because you despise the Butterfinger.
And, we did the Fifth Avenue, which is very similar to the Butterfinger.
Yeah, well, we are going Butterfinger, so...
We should just say the before every time. The Butterfinger.
The Butterfinger. The Butterfinger. So here we go.
This is funny because we had to get Halloween candy this weekend, and I'm like, do not get anything with Butterfingers.
Well, that's the stuff you give to the kids.
Yeah, but then the kids think your house sucks because they're the ones that hand out the Butterfingers.
Someone has to like Butterfinger. It's been around since 1923.
Somebody does.
It's over 100 years old. This candy's 100 years old.
They have
and I know that you're going to say it tastes like it's 100-year-old candy.
Yeah.
So 1923, Curtis Candy Company released the Butterfinger candy bar upon the world, much to the delight of Jim and sadistic dentists everywhere, because this just sticks in your teeth. So at some point, you have to tell us, like what was the turning point on your Butterfinger disgust? Maybe
my jaw fusing shut as I tried to chew it. It probably was the first time I ever tried. I'm like, this can't be real. Who would choose to eat this?
You think it was something like you went out as a kid at Halloween and someone gave you a Butterfinger?
It may have been the first time I used a toothpick.
You're still picking it out.
Yeah. The flavor wouldn't be bad if the texture wasn't so unbearable.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what actually makes this thing because it's interesting. So the company actually held a public contest to name the candy bar. And Butterfinger was the winner because it was a common insult in baseball.
Butterfingers.
Hey, Butterfingers.
You know what never has caught on? Buttertooth.
Buttertooth.
I want to start that, like for people with yellow smoker's teeth.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Buttertooth.
See, I knew you were going to get extra salty with this one.
What, did you brush your teeth with a stick of butter this morning?
Hey, corncob mouth. Oh, boy. So what exactly is a Butterfinger? I think we already learned why Jim hates it so much. So it's a thin bar.
I can't be alone in this. Do you like it?
Oh, I can't tell you the last time I had one.
Yeah, there's a reason.
You have turned me off to them. I may never eat one, especially after once you read what it consists of. So it's a thin bar that consists of a layered crisp peanut butter core made from freshly roasted peanuts mixed with sugar candy that is kneaded, rolled, and cut before being covered in a chocolate-like coating. And I say chocolate-like because the coating contains no cocoa butter and therefore is not eligible to be described as chocolate. And that is true to this day, I believe. So they cannot say that it's it's chocolate-like, which is...
They don't even use chocolate tea? Well, I guess that would imply that there's some chocolate to it.
I guess all it takes is cocoa butter. But you think if it's a Butterfinger, why wouldn't you use cocoa butter to at least somehow make the name relevant?
If you tried to brush your teeth with a Butterfinger, say, if you wanted that look.
If you want to take it.
That would cut up your gums. You'd be
It would.
bleeding.
It is. Yeah.
This thing is unforgiving. It's an unforgiving candy.
And like you said, it just sticks in every little nook and cranny of your. It's worse than nougat or caramel.
It's terrible.
This peanut butter.
Like you
core.
feel like you cannot chew it fully because your teeth will be done.
You almost feel like you're gonna have to just suck it like a lollipop.
Like the last time, and it could have been years since I've had one of these.
Yeah.
Maybe I was desperate. Like you feel like you can't chew it too much because your teeth will be done for the day. So you end up swallowing half-chewed Butterfingers, which then
Just
like probably slices the inside of your esophagus.
We got internal bleeding here going on.
Yeah.
He's bleeding internally. Oh shit! We got another Butterfinger. Butterfinger alert. So I want to go through some pop culture milestones here. In 1923, when this launched, the company debuted around the same time as Baby Ruth, which we just recently talked about. And they decided to attach tiny parachutes to candy bars and drop them from planes over New York City in an effort to get people to look up and get hit in the face with candy bars. Unfortunately, this created a large amount of chaos, but the marketing was successful, and Butterfinger's bars quickly gained popularity, so much so that in 1934, it was actually referenced in a Shirley Temple movie, Baby Take a Bow. So I guess early product placement?
I hope she didn't attempt to sing while she's eating one of these things.
So, but it wasn't until 1988 when Butterfingers were advertised with The Simpsons, which at that time was still a series of shorts on the Tracy Ullman Show. And the very first commercial, are you ready for this? I did not know this. The very first commercial of The Simpsons promoting Butterfingers debuted the character of Milhouse.
Really?
First time you ever saw Milhouse was on a commercial. Yep. And of course, their popularity immediately boosted the candies. And in 1992, they started the Simpsons Butterfinger marketing run that went until 2001. And then came back in 2010, and it's still running around. So Bart's famous "No one lays a finger on my Butterfingers" is in the zeitgeist out there.
Yeah, he can keep them. Don't worry, Bart.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to touch them. I'm not going to touch them. In 2008, Nestle. So we're going to talk about this. Changed hands quite a few times. Launched an April Fool's Day prank in which they claimed that they had changed the name of the candy bar to The Finger.
I'd like to give it the finger.
claiming that the original brand name was clumsy and awkward, and they had a fake website promoting the change and a video press release. They went to the extreme where I guess they even had a website that when you redirected visitors to the fictitious Butterfinger Comedy Network, which was nothing. In 2010, they decided to ride on the hysteria of the end of the world Mayan calendar craze and promoted Barmageddon, which included a QR-shaped crop circle in Kansas, and released all these press releases that Butterfingers were flying off the shelves because people were stocking up for the end of the world.
If there was like one house with food in the apocalypse and all they had to eat was Butterfingers, I think I'd continue to wander.
You'd be a zombie now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be a post-apocalyptic zombie.
Or I'd have no teeth.
That is true. Well, then you couldn't bite people.
Then I couldn't eat it anymore.
No, that's true. You could just gum it to death.
Or just swallow it and then die.
Imagine if Woody Harrelson was out there looking for that last Butterfinger and not a Twinkie.
Again, he can have them.
Yeah. So, other promotions that they put out there, they did a comedy horror movie called Butterfinger the 13th. And they created the first interactive digital graphic novel by a candy brand starring the Butterfinger Defense League. I do not have that comic book, digital comic. not committed.
So when did you say the Simpsons stopped with the Butterfinger advertising?
They said 2001, but then they came back in 2010, and I think they're still going 2010 until current. So
because I could swear that, because sometimes I do watch even the new Simpsons episodes, that recently they threw shade on Butterfinger.
So I'm sure they probably do.
They bit the hand that fed them for so long.
Well, I think their first was promoting the little BBs. We're going to get into some of the variations over the years. And those were like little, I don't know, maybe they were like Whoppers, like the little malted milk balls, but they were like peanut butter balls. I think those were the BBs. I don't think they make them anymore. So who can we blame for the Butterfinger? Obviously, we mentioned the original company here, this Curtis. What did I say it was? The Curtis Candy Company. In 1964, Standard Brands purchased Curtis Candy. In 1981, they then merged with Nabisco, which itself became RJR Nabisco. In 85, with the merger of Nabisco Brands and RJR Reynolds Tobacco Company, because that's what you want, is tobacco-flavored candy. In 88, RJR Nabisco was then purchased by the Kohlberg Kraft Roberts and Company, and at the time it was the largest leveraged buyout in history. In 1990, Nestle bought Babe Ruth and Butterfinger from RJR Nabisco, and in 2018, Nestle announced plans to sell over 20 of its U.S. confectionery brands, including Butterfinger, to an Italian chocolatier for $2.8 billion. Any guesses?
Ferrara
Candy Company. These guys are a monopoly.
They are.
We can't talk about a single candy without bringing up
I've
Ferrara.
noticed, because all these brands that used to be Nestle, now on the packages, I've noticed that the Ferraro name is starting to show up, where previously you didn't see that.
Well, I mean, I think if you bought something from Nestle has brand recognition.
They have brand recognition. I think that they're trying to push that now for Ferraro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, we can't go a week without not talking about Ferraro.
Yeah.
So they are large and in charge, and they are just, how is this not a monopoly? They are just buying up all these candies left and right. So variations over the years, different products. We talked about the BBs, which started up in 92. I will tell you right now that most of these are discontinued. So the BBs were like these Whoppers, or roughly the size of marbles, and they sold them in a bag. Snackers, which is a bite-sized version of the candy bar. We had Bits, which are like mini bites. We have Buzz. Ready for this? So during the height of the energy drink craze in 2009, a 2-piece king-size version of the candy bar contained 80 milligrams of caffeine. Was released with limited distribution. And the wrappers actually bared a warning that said contains 80 milligrams per package, as much as in the leading energy drink. Not recommended for pregnant women, children, or persons sensitive to caffeine. As you can imagine, that is discontinued. They created a Butterfinger ice cream bar, which was introduced in 91. Crisps, which I guess Nestle had this whole line of these crisp bars, which is a form of chocolate-covered wafer cookie with a Butterfinger flavored cream. Cocoa Mix. So this is interesting because apparently the original recipe doesn't even have cocoa in it, but you can get a hot cocoa mix that tastes like Butterfinger. That's like chocolate, isn't it?
And they put glue in it as well to replicate the experience?
The experience, yeah. Mom, can I chew my cocoa mix? Yeah. They went after the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and came up with their own Butterfinger Peanut Butter Cups. Naked. There was a naked Butterfinger, which was basically...
Which has no chocolatey, it's just the garbage inside?
It just has the coating of chocolate, like, on the bottom. Yep. Nothing on top.
Imagine having that, like, just naked in your hand. It would just stick to your fingers before you could even get it into your mouth.
Yeah. More reason to shove it all in and then regret it as it lacerates your...
Yeah, and then you've got to wash your hands. You got no choice, or it's like you've got crazy glue on your hands. You're sticking to everything.
It's crazy glue. Is that Butterfingers or crazy glue? There's also, they came up with the crumbled Butterfinger bars, which are just, for baking purposes. You couldn't just buy a bar and break it up. So
you can make your cake inedible.
Yeah. Right. And in 2024, they did come out with a salted caramel bar. So There's a lot of different products out there. Like I said, a lot of these have already been discontinued. Some fun facts. There was a rumor that the original Curtis Candy Company recipe was lost between Nabisco taking ownership in 81 and selling the brand to Nestle in 89. Whoops. We lost the recipe. So Nestle had to actually reverse engineer this thing and figure out what the ingredients were. What? What do you mean? I just bought this for $2.8 billion and you don't have the recipe?
So they had to actually go and buy a Butterfinger.
Probably.
And everybody's like, I don't want to eat that. You
Well,
eat that.
apparently nobody noticed. But this is the story. This is like buying the KFC franchise and it's like, yeah, we lost the recipe. We don't know what it is. Good luck. Just make your own chicken. No one will know.
You know, I was in Spirit Halloween this year.
Yeah.
Because we are in scary Halloween season right now.
Yeah. They've been open since September, by the way.
Looking at all the animatronics, and there's one that's supposed to go by your door on Halloween night, and it vomits out the candy once your bowl is empty.
What?
So you load the back. It's like a clown. It's maybe, I don't know, 3 feet.
I'm not eating candy from a vomiting clown.
So you load it the back of his head, and it vomits out his mouth into the bowl. And
This is real.
it's real. The candy that they use for the display is, guess
It's
what?
Butterfinger.
Yeah.
Hey, this tastes funny. Well, that's because a clown puked it up. Oh, no. One more reason not to eat Butterfinger.
Yeah.
I'm not eating that. That's gross. 1999, Butterfinger became one of the first products to be identified as containing genetically modified ingredients from the corn, so GMOs. And Greenpeace actually successfully ended sales in Germany because of this.
Oh, they need to come here.
You get Greenpeace.
Just get it out of my Halloween bag.
Listen, we care about the Germans. We don't care about the Americans.
When I'm pilfering my son's Halloween bag, I don't want to be grabbing Butterfingers. They go right in the garbage.
Right in the garbage. They go right in the clown's butthole.
Yeah.
And then he pukes them back out later.
Yep. Cornholio.
Cornholio. Butthole, but. So when Ferraro purchased the bar in 2018, they did change the recipe. And apparently people were quite outraged about it. Not Jim.
Yeah, because it's terrible.
I guess at the end of the day, it was a success and sales reportedly improved 17.7%.
It's gone from really bad to terrible.
So people love this. I don't know
Not me.
where you stand, but sales as of 2010 was 598 million a year.
I think it's one of these things that people just feel like they have to buy.
You
They don't
think
like
so?
it. Nobody likes it.
Yeah, it is typically ranked as the 11th most popular candy bar sold in the United States. So, other spokespeople
Just,
we mentioned.
you know,
The
if you eat
Simpsons.
Butterfingers, just try not to smile because you're probably
Well, you
missing a few.
You can't. I was watching a documentary last night, and one of the talking heads was missing a tooth, and I'm just like, I can't stop looking at that gap in this. I'm looking at your tooth, missing tooth. Maybe you could have just taken a piece of the Butterfinger and shoved it right in there.
Yeah, so maybe that can open a soda can if if I'm missing a can opener.
So other spokespeople over the years included Top Cat, and that is you have to be a certain age to know who Top Cat was. Seth Green, Eric Estrada, Rob Lowe, and Jamie Presley.
You know, what would be great would be the Swedish chef from the Muppets. Because he's eating it. Yeah.
He's just eating. Where's your burger?
He would sound the same.
Yeah. And as we're going to circle back and end with Bart Simpson, who does in fact consider it one of the 4 basic food groups: sandwich, cow, jungle, and Butterfinger. So I just thought it was going to be funny. Jim's not laughing. You should have talked about the red vines.
This was much more entertaining, actually, than Red Vines.
Apparently, you can lay a hand on a finger on Jim's Butterfinger.
Yeah,
He encourages it. He
Yep.
wants you to take it from him.
I'll have a bag full of them on November 1st.
So do we think that Keanu Reeves eats Butterfingers? Whoa. He wasn't quite in his Neo phase, but he was getting there.
No,
This was a dry run.
he was more still in his Dracula phase days.
Jonathan Harkness?
Jonathan Harker.
Don't
He
even
was
know.
very stiff and wooden in this movie as well.
But he was, he had...
He's Keanu, though. You kind of you need that. You expect that early Keanu.
Well, I'm surprised if somebody looks at this movie and be like, yeah, we want to cast him in a major movie that's pretty much similar to this. Like, it's weird watching this. I'm going to say that I don't think I've ever seen this. If I did, I forgot all about it.
I've seen it once, so I had only the dimmest memory of it.
Gotcha. I did like the fact that I did appreciate Dolph Lundgren playing a preacher.
Yeah, I forgot he was in it. I knew Henry Rollins was in it, so
yeah, and he's a dork.
And he's, blink and you'll miss him, kind of. He's only in it for like 5 minutes.
Dork. That's amazing.
And I thought I saw Nick Cave at one point.
Oh, really?
There's somebody that walks through the hotel lobby at the very beginning. I'm like, that looked like Nick Cave to me, but I couldn't find anything. He's not in the credits, so
interesting. So we're talking about Johnny Mnemonic, 1995, as you mentioned, 4 years prior to the revolutionary mind-altering Matrix.
And talk about mind-altering. You've got to really concentrate on the first 2 seconds.
They throw such overload at you. Talk about we just mentioned the little blurb that they give you at the beginning of Tronares, kind of catching you up on this world. And here it's like, you got to pause it. You got to pause to read this.
Yeah, I had to read it 3 times. If somebody watching this in the theater, you're probably like, what?
Correct, because it comes and it goes.
So this story takes place in the 2010s, right? So we're now like 10 years past when the story is supposed to have taken place.
Yeah, it refers to it as the second decade of the 21st century.
Yes.
So 2010s.
And everybody suffers from NAS?
Nerve
attenuation syndrome.
So that rolls right off the tongue.
So it's like a technological disease that gives you the shakes, just kind of like withdrawal of a heroin or alcohol, I guess.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is what people get when they don't get to look at their phone. This is a disease I think that exists. We are all addicted to our devices. And then we're told that there are low-techs who are hackers, data pirates, and guerrilla fighting resistance.
And that the world is run by corporations, which is not so far from the truth.
No, not at all. Matter of fact, the Yakuza, which aren't they like a Japanese?
They're Japanese gangs, and so the Yakuza
actually exist. Right.
Are like hit people for the corporations, and they're always fighting the low-techs.
So already your brain's like an overload.
So you're given this, and then suddenly you're also given that there are couriers out there that download information into their brains to transfer important information from point A to point B, and this is who Johnny Mnemonic is.
So again, I guess, comparing to the first movie, thumb drives just don't exist. We're just going to hijack into your brain. We're just going to upload some information. And I find it funny because I think at one point he says his brain can hold up to 80 gigs of hard drive information. I'm like, that's really not a lot. But then again, that's 95. So,
well, hey, he doubled it with whatever upgrade that he had.
I know, but at his own peril.
Still wasn't enough. But I get this is like a drug mule. Instead of sticking something up your keister,
a Butterfinger.
Yeah, you stick it in the back of your head.
Yeah, well, again, this is very Matrix-y like, and that you have a port in the back of your head that's going to download information.
As the movie goes on, you learn that Johnny has sacrificed his own memory in order to become a courier to make room. He actually had to unload.
He has to unload like his entire childhood memories in order to get extra room in his brain.
Yeah,
this is like getting a jazz drive. You just hook up to your spleen.
So, of course, Johnny is going to do one more job.
One more run. We're good.
Before he tries to get this thing removed and his memories reversed so he can have them back again.
Yeah. So, is his memories like sitting somewhere in like a warehouse just waiting to be back downloaded?
I don't know.
You said you had to get rid of them. Okay. No, my sister has them in a warehouse up in Alaska. I just got to go there. But apparently he can still sleep with chicks, and he's in central Beijing.
That's where this new job is.
Which is very Blade Runner-esque.
So Udo Kier, who is the very strange, like Charlie of Charlie's Angels that gives Johnny his jobs over the Zoom calls. And Udo Kier famously already worked with Keanu in My Own Private Idaho. And was famously in Andy Warhol's Frankenstein and Dracula. So he is a bit of a cult figure on his own.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
This is not the guy, Ralphie. Ralphie's a different character.
No, that's Ralphie. Yeah.
Ralphie. Okay.
The very German character that gives Johnny his walking orders in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory just to kind of fill you in on this world.
So he goes to this hotel room, gets this secret information uploaded into his brain, and it was 320 gigabytes.
Yep.
And he only had capacity for what, 180 or something?
No, I think it was 80. It was
he had 80 initially. Then he doubled that with the upload.
So that's 160.
And now this was 320. So because it went so over what his capacity is, he's got 24 hours before his brain melts.
24-hour window. Yeah. Unlike the 29 minutes from the previous movie, he's got a little more time. But
and of all places, he's got to go from Beijing and he's got to deliver it to Newark, New Jersey.
Listen, that would have been a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, well, I guess they've still got an airport in Newark, right? So it kind of makes sense.
Not?
Yeah.
But do they call him Mr. Smith? Where did the Mr. Smith thing come in?
No, that is either his real name, his character's name, or his code name.
His code name. So there's another Matrix reference right there. Yeah, there's a lot of Matrix vibes going on. This is a very cyberpunk aesthetic with the Japanese anime kind of thrown in.
Well, it's written by William Gibson, who created the whole cyberpunk genre.
Yeah.
Directed by Robert Longo, who's more of an artist than a director, and I think this was his only feature-length movie. But apparently this was worked on in tandem with Robert Longo and William Gibson throughout the 80s. They tried to make it a low-budget art film, like a $1 million art film. But the studios saw it more as a big-budget picture. So that's like we wanted to make a small movie, and suddenly we had this budget that we didn't need or want.
Right.
So it's like they had the opposite problem because what
are we going to do with all this money?
Sony saw the internet coming, and they thought that they had a cash cow with this story because it was right on the cutting edge of everything that was happening in reality. The problem is that it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, no, I think their heart was in the right place.
Yeah,
because you're right. They're like, oh, look at this. I mean, again, go back to Tronares, which is like you could have had a very solid storyline about the rise of AI and the implications of the real world. And they didn't know what to do with it or chose not to. Here, they're like, oh, we've got something, but we're not really sure what we're going to do with it.
Yeah. So the interesting part about this that I liked was that when this information is being uploaded into Keanu Reeves, he tells the people that are there in the room to take 3 screen grabs of what's on the TV. And this is going to be a visual code. These 3 pictures are going to unlock the information when he gets to Newark. And of course, the Yakuza bust in as he's being uploaded. So he only has the one image.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the movie, he's trying to get the other 2 images to get the information out of his head before his brain melts.
Again, it's a lot.
You can't put in, a PIN number for that.
Correct. Damn it, I forgot the password.
So he escapes the Yakuza, he makes it to Newark, and that's where the rest of the movie takes place, in Newark.
He literally walks out the front door. They couldn't catch him. And these guys, the Yakuzas, they got like silly string lightsabers. Yeah,
they're beheading people left and right because that's how you get the information.
Sure.
You just cut off their head.
Yep. So he makes it to Newark. And I did put a question in here because it does sound like there's this Guar soundtrack going on. My Guar. I don't think it was, but they were trying to be cyberpunky.
The plot of the movie is much simpler than the movie is. They throw all this extra stuff at you. The information is revealed to be from Pharmacom, which is one of the big pharmaceutical companies. And they have the cure to this NAS. That's the information in his head.
Right.
But they don't want to release it because then it's more lucrative to treat people for it than to cure them.
Which we're still dealing with today.
Yeah.
Which is, why cure cancer when we make more money.
So on the way there, it's because of course once that's revealed, that Johnny Mnemonic is going to he's going to cure NAS, right? So it's going to have a happy ending. But while you're making it to that point, you're throwing all this stuff, the Low-Techs versus the Yakuza. You've got Ice-T as J-Bone. You've got a
Jane.
dolphin that's that can't even move in a tank that's not that much bigger than the dolphin is.
All I'm gonna say is all I could think of was Dr. Evil going, "Can I get a freaking laser beam attached to a shark?
Yeah.
With freaking laser beams." I'm like, Dolph Lundgren gets taken out by a dolphin. Like it's Dolph on Dolph action here.
And
Like,
Dolph Lundgren is like the street priest who is
like
hired.
He's an odd character that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, this is so like miscast.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Pharmacom, I think, hires him to go after Johnny at one point. Yeah.
So we talk about this, that it's 4 years prior to The Matrix, and The Matrix, really was revolutionary. Everything that we saw on screen, the Wachowskis were just like, boom, we're going to show you something we've never seen before. And there's some nice graphics in here. The airport scanning screen when he comes into Newark and they're scanning up through his body. Like there are certain things that look pretty probably cutting edge for 95.
And then that scene when they break into the computer store and he puts on the virtual gloves.
Yep. Yeah. So there's some neat things going on. By the time you get to the end of it, it is like just straight up Lawnmower Man.
Yep.
It's like, wow, well, we got all this money. Let's do something.
Yeah. Talk about money for nothing. That's really what the end of the movie looks like.
But you're right. I mean, those glasses you put on, I mean, they're precursor to Google glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ahead of the curve with the gloves.
Oh, and we've got Dina Meyer as Jane, who genre fans will recognize from Starship Troopers.
But yeah, she's suffering from this NAS, so she goes epileptic every now and again. She has like these little schism breakdowns.
Yep, and Henry Rollins is Spider. He's Spider. He's part tech expert, part doctor who's treating NAS.
I don't know if I would trust him. I can get it out, man. Maybe. Yeah.
It's basically Johnny with this information in his head trying to offload it before he is killed by the Yakuza and his brain melts.
Yeah. There is a point where he utters, "What the F is going on?" And I just wrote, yes, what is going on? What the F is going on here?
Keanu actually breaks his woodenness for one scene where he's yelling, "I want room service." He just
it's like
the frustration that you have watching this movie is vented through Keanu, because I think he's frustrated as well.
Yeah, but he sticks it out.
Yep, he does.
The guy signed on for this.
So talk about like empty calories throwaway. I really couldn't go through the plot of this if you asked me to.
No, because it is very convoluted.
The only thing you really need to know is that Dolph Lundgren is after Johnny, and he finally catches up with him at the end of the movie in the low-tech headquarters with Jones the Dolphin, right? And there's a couple of laugh-out-loud lines that Ice-T specifically has. Dolph Lundgren shows up and I think asks, because Jones is mentioned as Dolph Lundgren enters, and Dolph Lundgren says, "Who's Jones?" And Ice-T says, "He's that guy, the f***ing mother."
Oh, nice comeback.
That made me laugh. And also at the end, when Dolph Lundgren's character gets zapped, he's electrified and he's burned alive, right? So he's just a smoking, muscular skeleton at the end. Yeah. And you see his fingers start to move, and it's just because they're moving the dead body. He's not coming back to life. Yeah, no,
that was a fake. That they faked you out into thinking that he was still alive.
And Ice-T says something to the effect, "He ain't alive. Throw him out with the garbage." And
would you put him in the dolphin tank?
They end up throwing his body in the river. I'm like, that's pretty disgusting. He's melting flesh, and you just throw him in the river.
What else are you gonna do with him?
Well, it is Newark, right?
That is true. This is how we dispose of all of our bodies.
Yeah. And they have like a huge mountain of TV sets in their headquarters.
Sure, why not? But this end graphic where he breaks in is Lawnmower Man.
Yes, because he melds with the dolphin or something, and he mind melds.
Yeah, sure.
The dolphin gets the info out of his head. And meanwhile, there's like a ghost lady that's haunting all the TV screens that are in the movie, and that's like the head of Pharmacon who uploaded
what is that
her
all
consciousness.
Because that's never really explained either.
She dies before the events of this movie, uploads her consciousness into
Eve's sister. Wow. Look at that. We tied it all together.
So, and she's like haunting the characters throughout.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Cool. So does he ever get his memories back?
Yes, because the movie ends with him seeing his memories again.
Seeing his memories.
Yeah.
So there you go. I did like the sounds. The songs at the end were very Batman Beyond opening theme-ish. There was an idea here that just didn't get executed very well.
According to the director, Longo, while they were in production, they're making Johnny Mnemonic, right? It may have been finished. Speed comes out the previous year.
Oh, yeah.
Makes Keanu a huge box office star.
Wait, that was 94?
That was 94.
I was thinking 96. Okay.
So now Sony are like, we have this movie on our hands with the biggest star in the world at the moment. So they completely recut the movie. And so Longo says, of course, most directors of terrible movies say this, my original cut, you should have seen it. You should have seen it, my original cut. That was good. That has never been released. What they did release on DVD in 2022, Sony Entertainment released Johnny Mnemonic in black and white because that was the original vision to do it in black and white.
Oh, interesting.
So, but what it was is just the movie that we know in black and white.
So there was nothing.
But Longo says even that concession is much better than what we saw in color, I guess.
What? Like it makes that big of a difference?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now. But so if they went back and recut it because they think that they're now sitting on a bigger star, does that mean that the original cut had less of Keanu?
I don't know if it had less. I don't see how it could have because he's the main character.
Right, he's the main character. But if you're going to go back and you're like, holy shit, this guy's in the #1 movie and we have this, so let's recut this. Like, what are they recutting? Like, what are they looking at?
I don't know. I don't know.
I guess we'll
The only thing that I saw is like my version, the director talking now.
Right.
My version was much more ironic, quote unquote.
Okay. Like you said, they can kind of spin it however you want if they don't think you're ever going to see it. I mean,
the DVD I had was because I got this from my library, so it was bare bones. It was very early DVD.
Well. Yeah,
didn't even have a menu. It just went right into the movie.
Right to the movie.
Yeah,
I don't even think mine was altered. It was just the old school square TV screen. I had the black bars on the left and right.
So right from Wikipedia, while not a director's cut, this black and white version is nonetheless closer to Longo's intended vision for the film. He had desired to shoot in black and white, but was denied.
So they just went in and desaturated the color.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Longo himself ripped a Blu-ray copy and created a black and white version that he was going to put on YouTube, but then Sony did it the right way.
Oh, it is an interesting artifact because it was so close and prior to The Matrix.
And what's funny about these 90s, especially genre movies in the 90s, sci-fi movies in particular, because of the visual effects, they're very in their time, right? You can tell it's a 90s movie by just what you're seeing.
Sure.
They all have that kind of sci-fi channel feel, like this could be a TV movie, right? Because the sets aren't that expansive. It doesn't feel like it's I would feel a little cheated, watching this on the big screen.
Well, and that's what surprises me when you tell me that they had this big budget and you're like, well, it doesn't, I mean, a lot of the shots, you don't get a lot of like wide shots to show you the space that they're living in. It's always like these close-ups. It's very much.
Yeah. It looks like TV sets. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. You can't afford to show you what's around that corner. So,
well, I can say that now that I've seen this twice, that's about my lifetime capacity. That's all I have room for in my brain for Johnny Mnemonic.
So where are you going bucket-wise?
Bucket-wise. Oh, I don't want to crap all over it.
I know. I
hate doing that, but I'm at a 5. If I gave Tronares 3, I'd like at the best, I'd give this 2 buckets.
I'll go a little bit higher. I'll give it 2 3/4. I think that there was an idea there. It was a little bit ahead of its time compared to what we saw later in The Matrix. Like clearly the Wachowskis looked at this and said, oh, we can build off that.
Yeah.
With their main character. So I'll give them some credit.
All right. So what else did we do?
Well, you need to go first because I feel like I've done a hell of a lot of talking this
Well, all
episode.
my what else did we do is just really kind of looking forward to what's coming up this
Oh,
week. So
that's
I'll have
fine.
a good
We can
one.
do that.
I'll
We can
have
do
a
that.
good one next time,
Okay.
But I am going to see Joe Bob and Darcy, the hosts of The Last Drive-In on Shudder.
Joe Bob Briggs. Okay. Who you mentioned numerous times throughout this podcast.
Yes, and his co-host, Darcy the Mail Girl. They host live events across the country. They tour, and they're coming to my town in Poughkeepsie, New York.
That is crazy. So they do. So this is kind of like, does he hosts movies, but he gives you like little
I'm not really sure what
information?
he's going to do live, but when you watch the show, it's Shudder, so there's no commercials during
but
a
they
movie.
have to cut at some point.
But they cut every 20 minutes or so in the movie and go to Joe Bob, and he kind of walks you through the movie as you've seen it so far. He'll talk about the actors, the background of how the movie got made. Yeah. Some funny commentary on it. So this live show is going to be a double feature. So he's showing he's showing Bubba Hotep.
Okay. Ooh,
which
nice
we've
one.
talked about.
Yep, sure have.
Along with Rock and Roll High School, which is the Ramones.
Rock and Roll High School.
So I don't know how it's going to work live. I can't see him stopping the movies
that would
live.
be very jarring every 20 minutes.
Yeah. But he's going to have a meet and greet before and after the event, so everybody gets a chance.
That's cool. I like that.
So we'll see. I'll be able to tell you more about it next time.
Okay. Well, that's funny you mentioned that. So I do want to talk about something I did see, but I am also going to have a meet and greet on Friday. I am taking off from work. Shh, don't tell anybody. And I'm going to ChillerCon in Jersey.
Ooh.
Because Mark McClure, who you will know as young Jimmy Olsen from the original Christopher Reeves Superman, is going to be there, but he is also Marty McFly's brother, and he is super elusive. And one of the few people I still need for my Back to the Future poster.
Ooh.
So right now, I've already got my ticket. Friday night, they're only going to be there from 6 until 10, and it's in Parsippany, Jersey. So it's going to take me a good hour just to get down there. So, all by myself, I'm driving down. Going to stand in line because Huey Lewis is also going to be there.
Oh, are you going to get him too?
Well, I already have him on my Back to the Future poster, and I'm hearing that he's going to be one of the more high ends. And I'm on the Facebook group, and it seems that pretty much everyone who's going there is specifically going to get Huey Lewis. But Mark McClure is like, he's got to be my number one. But they also do photo ops. And on Friday, Huey Lewis is doing like 7:45. I don't know how much of that time is going to eat out of his signings. So I have to time myself. I have to figure this out. There's a bunch of Back to the Future people that are going to be there. Most of them I have. There's two other people that I will not get on my poster, but I'll get autographs from. Another real oddball. Do you remember the show New Zoo Review, which was?
Yes.
So it was a Saturday morning.
I do.
With Emmy, Joe, and Doug, who are still married.
And Henrietta Hippopotamus.
Yep.
And the frog, Freddie Frog.
Freddie Frog. And
there's an elephant too.
No, it's an owl.
An owl. All right.
An owl. I can't remember what his name was. Hootie? I don't remember. Anyways, they are still married. They're a married couple, and they're going to show up there. And I'm like, I met the girls from Magic Garden a couple years ago. And I'm like, I have to imagine this was also like a very niche local tri-state area show. I don't know how syndicated it was back in the day. And it would show up on Saturday morning at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't like prime time.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was like a WPIX, WOR show. It wasn't like ABC
I will tell you that.
anything.
I mean, I used to watch it, but we only had 3 channels at the time, unless I'm misremembering. And I did watch it at my grandfather's, who did have more channels. But depending on time, I might have to swing by and go get their autographs. But I do want to talk about. I watched a documentary last night. This John Candy, which is on Prime, called "I Like Me."
Yes.
And have you seen it?
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
Break out the tissues.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Is this from, I mean, it literally starts with his funeral and then backtracks. And you've got Bill Murray, you've got Eugene Levy, you've got Martin Short, you've got Steve Martin, you've got Catherine O'Hara, you've got everyone and anyone that's ever worked with this man. John Hughes interviews, Macaulay Culkin, and it's fascinating, but it's heartbreaking. But I had to watch it, and they do this time jump. They go from 1994, which is when he passed, and then they circle back to when he was a kid and his dad died at a very early age when he was like 5 years old, and how he never really got it. He's got interviews with his son and daughter. The son definitely has some resentment toward his dad and never being around and his lifestyle. And it's fascinating, and it's nice to see him. And boy, they really go all out. Conan O'Brien's on here as well, talking about how he met John Candy when he was in college. Yeah, like you just, you talk all the time about the whitewashing that makes you cry. This boy, they just rip right into your tear ducts.
Do they?
Tears pouring down my face watching this stupid thing going. Guy's been dead for 30 years, and yet you like, I miss it. And the fascinating thing was that Bill Murray was like, I now want to watch a documentary on Bill Murray, because he was about as human as I've ever seen him, where he really did kind of just open up about and talk about John Candy.
Yeah.
It was wild. Dan Aykroyd, obviously, maybe you could sit through it and be like, yeah, it was okay.
No, you just say that I Like Me. Just that scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is
yeah. Oh, and they do delve. Catherine O'Hara. They cut back at the end of the doc with her speech at his funeral, and I don't think there was a dry eye in the place.
Yeah.
So, and they have a lot of outtakes, because they only when they did Home Alone, and he was playing the polka player, they only had him for one day, and I guess they used all 23 hours or whatever. And there's a ton of outtakes of the two of them just riffing in the back of the truck, which were very fun. Obviously, 90% of that never made it into the movie, so
right,
it was goofy. So there you go. I don't think we know what we're gonna do next episode. Is that correct?
This is correct. We're gonna
leave it hanging. Yeah, you're gonna have to just come back. We could just come back, and I'll talk about my Huey Lewis experience, and you can talk about your Joe Bob Briggs. We don't even need to talk movies anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Screw that.
It's too bad that Tron Ares didn't live up to expectation, but hey, at least I got to watch Tron Legacy again, and that's always
there you go. Yeah. And like I said, I get the feeling that Ares will be on Disney's Plus
very
pretty soon.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you can just watch all three of them. Do you see what they did to my rug, man? I really tied this room together. That would have been. He was just doing the dude. Yeah, he is just the dude at this point. So, but kudos to him to show up and get a payday. So,
all right, we have worn out our welcome here.
Yes,
thank you for listening this long.
Off like an hour ago. They're like, they're not talking about Aries. Yeah, we're out.
Yep.
So, all right, thank you as always, and we will catch you next time. We will. Shooting right past Halloween and heading into November.
Yeah, Thanksgiving special coming soon.
That is, we do have that locked in. I think we do know what we're going to be talking about.
We do, but that's for you to find out.
Can't give it all away.
No.
So until next time, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Bye. If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand. I have the power. Whoa.